Hello, hello. I'm just adjusting. We are in a different location today. You probably can't tell, but I'm sitting on my bed because it is just so much nicer. I've got my little Lila here. Do you want to say hi to the camera? No? Oh, say hi. Yeah. We kind of know you. You pop up in my budget all the time. Say hi, Lila. Okay, you go play. She's quite obsessed with me. It's so cute though. I realize it's kind of dark in here, but you guys can see me nonetheless. Um, yeah, but I figured I would do this on my bed today because we are not fancy around here. We are just functional. So I'm doing the best that I can. It's actually a beautiful day here in Seattle. I'm going to try to get outside this afternoon, but I knew I had this scheduled with y'all, so wanted to make sure I was here, say hello, answer some questions. I did gather a lot of questions that I've gotten over the past couple of months, really since I last did a Q&A, which was some time ago. And yeah, what a day. Saturday, I went and donated plasma. You can't tell, but I have it right under here. That was my number one thing I had to do today. And then I need to go grocery shopping, you do some laundry. I mean, this is a very nice view of my room, clean in the background. The rest is needs some improvement, let's say that. And then what else? I'm going to get outside, maybe ask one of my roommates if they want to go on a walk. We have a path around here, but I don't want to go by myself because that's how I get murdered. And what else? Yeah, just grocery shopping, cleaning, and what else are we going to do today, Lila? What did I say? Wait, get outside, laundry. What was the third thing I was going to do? Grocery shopping. Yeah, okay. Those are the three things we need to do today, Miss Peanut. So anyhow, questions. And yeah, I think before we get on to the questions, actually, I just wanted to make a little note here since a lot of you have been on this journey with me for pretty much since the beginning. And back in, I think it was May, it was May. And I think it was I don't even know, MIA, missing in action here on YouTube for a little bit, just because it was, you know, just an emotional time. And I realized today would have been the 4-year anniversary with my ex. So I guess it's the anniversary day. So I think I'm going to take myself out to dinner. I'm actually not sad, even in the slightest, about it. I'm actually very, very happy that I survived and I am thriving. I had a conversation with my therapist on Thursday, and that's kind of the theme of the day was, hey, I survived and I'm thriving now. So getting on to the questions, let's see here. I do have it all written down. Okay, so on the live last weekend that I did with y'all, very spontaneous live, I couldn't think of a word that I was trying to talk about. It was depression, but not depression, but specifically when it's really cloudy. And someone commented, thank you so much for commenting that. And it is seasonal depression, very rampant here in Seattle, especially December, January, where the sun doesn't rise until 8 o'clock and it sets by 5. So you have very limited hours of daylight. What is that? 9 hours of daylight. It's so sad. But now the sun is setting a little bit closer to 5:30, so it's still light out when I leave work. It's light out when I get up in the morning, kind of light out. Let's be real. The sun is rising, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily risen yet. So yes, seasonal depression. Thank you to the person who commented that. I really, really appreciate it. Okay. Someone asked me a question. Actually, a few people have asked me this question before. How often do I donate plasma when it's on a regular basis? Typically, I donate twice a week. That's the max you can donate. I should say it's twice in a 7-day period. So every 7 days, you can donate essentially twice. You kind of have to play the game in a sense of how often you can donate, but twice in a 7-day, any 7-day period. So you just have to be strategic about it. So typically I go today. I went on Saturday. I'm going to go on Monday. And then I think days I normally go, and I think I'm going to recreate this schedule, is I like to go Sunday. I like to go Sunday before all the people at church get out. I went this morning and it wasn't too bad to get through. So maybe I'll do it like Monday and Saturday, but I got to get a new routine down. I don't really like to go on Saturday in the fall times because I have like soccer going on, I have sporting events, like there's too much is happening. So I don't really like to go on Saturday, but I like to go on Sunday because there's not really anybody there. And then Friday evenings, I mean, who wants to go donate plasma on a Friday? So there's not a lot of people there and I get in and out. But I just like read a book right now. I'm reading, let me just grab it. It's called The Other Woman. I'm only like 20 pages in. I got this from the library, so I didn't have to buy it. But I have a lot of books that I'm going to start utilizing from the library so I don't have to pay them because it's like, I don't even know what this costs retail. $27 if you can see that. $27. So I saved myself probably about $26. It maybe takes me like it takes 10 minutes from my house to get to the library and there's a bunch of locations and I can get them all like shipped to the specific location I want to get to. So that's really nice. Lila's laying on my lap now, so if I look down, it's because I'm petting her. She's very cozy, very cozy. I have a little laptop stand, like right here, that it's sitting on. Okay, yeah, so I donate twice a week, and it's $47 for the first donation of the like first 7 day period. And then let me see because I forgot what the second one is. I remembered to look today while I was there, but the app will tell me what the second donation is. It's for the weight class. Like there's 3 different weight classes. I'm in the middle weight class. So it's 65 for the second one. If I go on Monday, which is my next essentially eligible donation day, I will actually get a $10 bonus. So it'll be 75 for me. And I think for January and February, the first like 2 full weeks of those months, they've done like if you donate twice, like in that period. So their period goes Saturday through Friday, or their week per se. So if you donate twice in that week period, still abiding by like the only twice in a 7 day period, then you get an extra $10 for the first week and then $10 for the second week. I did not donate in the first period of February because I took the time off to like let my body heal. And so I didn't get the $10 donation, but I am sticking to it. I'm going because that 75 bucks would be really nice to add into my second half of February budget. I can't believe that we're almost halfway through February. Valentine's Day is on Tuesday. I actually host trivia on Tuesday. So, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to spend Valentine's Day what I love doing, making money. I've got work and then I have trivia night, which is really fun. So that answers how many times I donate. In an ideal world, I would be donating twice a week, 4 weeks in a month. So 8 times a month. I don't really get to 8. It's more like 6 to 7 just because sometimes I miss it. I've got events. I'm trying to not put too much pressure on myself because all of the side hustle money goes into savings. It's not something I rely on to pay my bills, for variable expenses, for debt. It's all goes into savings. So I'm trying to take the pressure off myself and, make sure that, yes, it would be great to go donate plasma and make some extra money, but I don't rely on that savings necessarily. So I'm trying to not put too much pressure on myself from that aspect of it. Okay, the next question. So someone had asked a question, and I'm sure this is confusing because I'm not the best at explaining it, but how I do my investments on my budget, how I count it, because I have acorns in the fixed expenses, and then I have investments as a variable expense too. So when I'm closing out my budget, the number of the total category does not match either of the like fully match anything in the fixed expenses or anything in the variable expenses. But if you combined those two, it would match what I close out. And that's pretty typical. And I think going forward, I'm actually going to like do the little dot that I did when I closed out the budget, the color coding of the fixed expenses and for the variable expenses. So we're all kind of on the same page. And then also that helps me too when I'm doing the full month like category breakdown. Like I can just count the colors of what I budgeted and look at the expense tracker for was actually spent, if that makes sense. So that was a really good question. And I did walk through it on the closeout video, but it is really confusing when you have like multiple categories and different sections on the budget, and it can get really confusing. If you're watching this live, like definitely make sure, or the replay, actually, if you're in the replay crew, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. It really does help my YouTube channel, actually, and it's totally free. And then leave me any questions you have in the chat. Say hello. Let me know how your Saturday's going. If you're anything fun, do you plan to watch the Super Bowl tomorrow? I do plan to watch the Super Bowl tomorrow. I wasn't really anticipating any expenses for it, but I ended up just buying a couple of things at the grocery store. So we're just going to loop it into the grocery category. And I might go to Costco today, but I don't know why I'm yawning. Like I'm literally drinking coffee right now, and it's noon. Got to keep myself caffeinated, y'all. I might go to Costco, but it's Saturday, and if you are a Costco consumer, if you go to Costco, you know Saturdays and Sundays are the worst days to go to Costco. And the one actually closest to me, it's so funny. So you know how when you walk into Costco and it's like, okay, you walk in, it's like the electronics, you've got all the TVs and stuff, and then you have like the promos, whatever they're trying to sell, and then you go and it's like customer service or like opticals at checkout, and you walk through, it's like a circle that you walk in. This Costco is not that at all. There's like multiple sections of the store. You have to like cross through other sections to get to sections. It's like not in a perfect like circle where you have like the meat. You know, when every Costco I've ever been in, besides this one, it's like the meat is at the very back of the store. The produce is like close to the meat. That is not how this one is laid out at all. And it is so frustrating. And also, this is just a quick rant. People go with their families. Like there's a large family population pretty much everywhere in Seattle, but people go with their entire families. And I'm like, oh my God, why do you all need to go to Costco together? And then they have like everyone standing in the aisles and they have multiple carts. And I'm like, could you just not? Like, you are so annoying to me. But it is what it is. Like, there's nothing I can do about it. I can have a bad attitude, a good attitude, and depending on the day is what I have. But maybe I'll go tomorrow, actually, so I can get like a Costco pizza while I like watch the Super Bowl or something, because they're $10, pretty darn good. Okay, moving on to the next question here. Okay, can you post kids clothing items on Flip? So most of you probably watch my videos for the budgeting content, but one of the side hustles that I do or use, I haven't actually looked at it in a while. I don't think a lot of clothing has been selling, but it's called Flip, FLYP. It's an app on your phone, and you can basically sell clothes via another person. So you basically ship it to the person. They list it on like Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, all of that, and sell it for you, and you like split the profits. You do know the breakdown before you even consign with that person. It is like a consignment app, but you don't really have to do a lot of the work, and they're very picky on brands. So yes, you can sell kids clothing on Flip as long as it's a brand that they accept. I do know that. And it's a great way. Like if you have a lot of brand name clothing, but you don't really want to sell it yourself on like Poshmark, Mercari, eBay, Flip is a really fantastic app. I always have a referral link in the description box, and I'll put it in the description box of this video after this airs. I do get a little bit of a kickback once you send your first box, so it is really nice, and it's no cost to you to use that affiliate link at all. And in full transparency, I get a $25 gift card. So if you use that link before, I get a $25 gift card to Amazon. And that's like literally what I get from it, but it doesn't cost you anything, and I just get a little bit of a kickback. So I would appreciate it if you use the link. If you don't, it's totally fine. Please don't stress about it. Okay, Rivas is how you pronounce it. What channel are you watching the Super Bowl on? Good question. What channel is it normally on? And that's, let's see, who owns Super Bowl streaming rights? Okay, so ESPN Plus. So full live streaming services carry on Fox, Sling TV, Hulu Plus, and Fubo TV. So I'll probably be watching it on Fox. Um, I am not going to give you the specific details of how I'll watch it on Fox, but essentially, I know somebody who has access to Fox, like through their oh my gosh, what is it called? Smart TV. I have a smart TV. I have a Roku. We have one upstairs and downstairs. Actually, both of the TVs are mine. And I'll be watching it through Fox and just sign in with someone else's provider. But I'm not going to tell you who because I'm not going to get them into trouble, of course. But let's be real, we all do it. Actually, I saw something. I saw a post on Facebook, and everyone has an opinion about everything. That it's actually theft if you use somebody else's login. I forget what it's called. It's like digital theft or something. But I feel like if someone ever got caught for that, it'd probably be pretty ridiculous because don't we all kind of do it? Like share passwords for Hulu, Netflix, Peacock, I don't even know, HBO Max. Like that's like the best thing is like you have 4 friends, you each have a hypothetical, this is just an example. I'm not saying that I do this, but say you have 4 friends, you each subscribe to something yourself. You each subscribe to only one, and then you just share the passwords with all of it. Like, and then, but that's where the good part comes in is, if you allow people to do that, or you're just not cracking down on people doing that, it does create a better, I would say, interest in stuff, like, especially if you have a really great TV show, then you see it always on social media, like, you're creating the hype around it, but if you have a quarter, or I'd say 3/4 of the people who can't watch it, then it's not as much of a hype, you don't get as many views, like, people talking about it, people interested in it, um, but I'm sure there's a lot more, like, diagnosis on that sort of thing, and then I was gonna make another point. Oh, it's like I would not personally pay for 4 streaming services. I pay for 1, Peacock, and the rest, I get elsewhere. Okay, last year I paid $5 to watch it on Peacock, but I didn't like every 8 minutes there was commercials. Oh, yikes. No, okay, so if you have yet to use an email for Fubo TV, I believe they give you a week free. And I have done Fubo. I think I've used 3 different emails to get that week, or maybe it's even 30 days. Try Fubo. I really liked it. Or maybe like just get another email and sign up for it and you can watch it off Fubo. You do have to make sure you have like the sports package, but because it's on NBC, not NBC, Fox, you may not need the sports package. So definitely do some digging. But I would personally recommend Fubo TV because I've used it before. I've not done HBO Plus, or what's the other one? Sling TV, or if you're comfortable like going to a bar and watching it, I would do that. Um, let's see. Well, now this one says NBC collectively pay the NFL 3 billion for the rights to broadcast the league's games. I don't know. I would say it's one of those, but you should be safe going with Fubo TV. I mean, yeah, it's either, gosh, is it CBS? Fox, CBS, or NBC are all of the ones. I have all of those on my thing, on my TV, so I'm not quite sure. I'm just gonna figure it out the day of. Literally, as the game starts, I'll probably figure it out. Okay, but those are really great questions. Yeah, let me know in the chat if you guys have any questions. Okay, how much do you have in your emergency fund? I get this question kind of often, and like what's the right amount. I know if you follow like Kamiko, like the budget mom, she recommends like before you even start really putting extra money towards debt, like you have $1,000 in your emergency fund. I don't remember a time in the last 6 or 7 years that I only had $1,000 in my emergency fund. It's a very great starting point. However, for me, I think about a year ago, before I went through the breakup and really had to use a lot of that emergency fund to pay for like a down payment on a new apartment, furniture, dishes. Um, I had 10,000. Now I have about 7,800, so 7,800 plus my checking account cushion, which I like to keep at 1,000, but right now it's about 700 because I used some. If you watched the last video, the closing out, and I just didn't replenish it yet. So, or I haven't replenished it yet. Probably over the next couple of budgets, it'll be replenished. But in an ideal world, I will get that emergency fund back to 10K. I do think it's a lot. That would be equivalent to about, oh gosh, 6 to 7 months of expenses, which is actually a really good amount. But I have so much other like savings and sinking funds that it's like I don't really know if I need 10K, but I think it is wise just for me. And then once I get to that, then I don't really have to keep putting money into the emergency fund unless I take it out, obviously, for an emergency. So that's that. I know I took this little one who's on my lap right here to the vet, and the bill was a lot higher than I anticipated. I don't know how much insurance is going to cover, and I forgot that my insurance for pet doesn't cover 100% of it. It just covers 80%. So I get reimbursed 80% of whatever's qualified after my deductible is met. And I haven't met my deductible yet. I have $125 or $130 left on my deductible of 250. And then I don't know if everything's gonna be covered, so I might pull a little bit from the emergency fund to pay off that bill, and then just can adding more and more to that pet fund. The pet fund has 250 in it, so I might pull from the entire pet fund because the deductible will have been met then, and then just keep adding on into that pet fund and take some from the emergency to pay off whatever the difference is, after the pet fund has been used. Yes, you are very expensive, little one. I know. For being so small, she's only about 6 pounds, just under, and you're gonna be 8 this year, little peanut. So yes, very expensive. Gosh, pets are expensive. But I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. She's my little baby. The only baby I want right now. I paid 1,100 for my dog to get teeth cleaned. Some teeth taken out for lab work. Can't believe it. Yeah, the vet who I actually really really liked. I've been to a lot of vets in my lifetime. I've been to a lot of different medical professionals for myself. Nothing too crazy, but dentist, orthos. Um, I don't even know, like physical normal physicians. And I really liked this vet, and I do think she was very trustworthy. And she was like, your cat's getting older. Like, we would encourage you to do just like a teeth clean on your cat. And they quoted me between about, I think it's like 600 and could go all the way up to 2,000, depending on the work that they have to do. So I need to look into the insurance to see if that's preventative care, if it's covered. If it's not covered, then I'm going to save up for it, and then I will take her to do it. But they were like, if you don't clean it, like it's just going to keep piling on. And I want to make sure she can live as long as possible. And honestly, I would pay $1,100 to get the teeth cleaned if that's like a necessity, would extend this little peanut's life. But yeah, it's very, very expensive for vets. And that's why I'm a huge advocate for pet insurance. When I was with my ex, he had a dog, the sweetest little peanut in the whole world, and she had to have an emergency. I don't want to call it like a hysterectomy, but basically they had to remove her ovaries or her uterus or something like that. Um, and she and it was gonna cost $1,200, and we did not have pet insurance. Like, it was an emergency surgery that had to be done. She, like, wasn't eating, she wasn't drinking, like, it was a whole ordeal, and so we had to pay out of pocket for that, and then after that, I got pet insurance on her, and I'm so thankful I did because about a year later, she started to have seizures, and if we didn't have that pet insurance, it would have been about 5 or 6 grand out of pocket, 5 or 6,000 out of pocket to get an MRI. I guess how pet insurance works, you do have to pay up front and then they reimburse you. And so I ended up getting reimbursed for the amount that was like not covered by insurance. And I think it was maybe about 1,200 because it was similar, like only I had to meet the deductible, and then I was only covered up to like 6 grand a year that they would reimburse me, but then it's only 80% of like the total bill. So very confusing. So I was reimbursed a significant amount, but at that point, the purpose of this kind of rant, I guess, is or conversation is if we wouldn't have had pet insurance, we wouldn't have been able to get that MRI because neither one of us could have afforded the 5 or 6K out of pocket to get it. But the MRI was helpful to determine that she had a tumor, and there was like the right course of action to like prolong her life. Um, so yeah, that was a rough few months of that. But I'm so thankful for the insurance, and I have pet insurance on this little one because it's expensive. Stuff is expensive, and I'd rather be covered than not. And I'd rather be in a position where I can just say yes and not have to think about the cost for my pet. I don't want to be, put back in a financial situation because she needs something and I can't afford it. I think that's just wrong. And unfortunately, it's not like people healthcare where you can just get the bill and not pay it. You do have to pay like upfront for all these costs. And it's unfortunate, especially if you go to the emergency vet, they make you like pay a deductible or like a down payment first. And then once they know like what it is or something, then you have to like pay the full amount before they give you your pet back. Like, I know a lot of people call vets a scam. I get it. It's just very different. They need to get their bills paid too. Um, but it's just unfortunate that there's not more affordable vet services out there, especially when, like, we live in a very populated city. There's a vet, I know there's a lot of vets, but they don't do pro bono. They don't work for free, which is unfortunate. Well, it's not unfortunate. I get it. Everyone's got to make money. But yes, that was that. And I think that might actually be all of the questions that I have that I wrote down here. How much is in the emergency fund? Yeah, that's how we got then on to the pet conversation. Um, Upcoming videos this week, I'm hoping to complete one that I recorded back in like October. I'm gonna get that up, and then we'll have a Live Rich Planner video. Maybe you'll have a Live Rich Planner video if I can record it today. And then, I guess you will have because it's the 14th and 15th this week, you'll have a first half of February closeout video too. So we're going to aim for 3 videos this week. Please hold me accountable for that, because if you don't, then I don't get them up. But I'm hoping I can get them up quickly. The closeout video probably won't be until, be until Friday, because I host trivia Tuesday and Wednesday, excuse me. Are you almost debt free? No, I am not. I would say I'm almost debt free if you don't include my student loans. If you include my student loans, and no, 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 that's basically a whole house in itself. I have 26,000 on one student loan that's in my name, and then I have a Parent Plus loan that has, hold on to your armchairs here, people, 186,000 in those student loans. I can't believe that I have that much in student loans. I have been saving. That's why I save every month. I'm trying to pay off that 26 or 27,000 this year. So technically on paper, I would be debt free, but my mom and I have an agreement that I am paying back that Parent Plus loan. She did the same thing with my sister, which pretty much allowed us to be able to go to the schools that we wanted to go to. And I don't regret that decision. I regret maybe not taking a gap year after my freshman year and then getting like in-state tuition, and that it would maybe be like 50 grand total. But it is what it is. I mean, I can't go back in time. I can't change anything. I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm going to pay it off as fast as possible. That's why I do all of these side hustles. It's why I'm so thankful for the budget mom and the budget by paycheck method. I have 13K and it stresses me out. Yeah. I mean, you're a lot closer to the finish line than I am, but we also have very different lifestyles, I'm sure, and we have different circumstances. And I mean, I don't make that much money, you guys. I mean, I make a decent amount, I make a good living, but I mean, it's not enough to pay off that loans really fast. Hopefully, over time, it does get there. And that's why I'm having these rules for myself. Every paycheck, $125 goes to the student loan savings. And once, I think it's like October, it comes back. Once the pause on student loans ends and we do have to make our payments again, I'm going to make a mass payment. I was really hoping for that 10K, the 10K, whatever, like benefit, like deduction, because then I would only be about 6,000 away from that smaller like loan. So $125 every paycheck, so $250 a month goes towards the student loan savings, and then all of the commission I make this year from work will go towards my student loan. So after taxes, it's like I earn different chunks of commission. So I earn like $1,000 at a time, and after taxes, it's about 660. So whenever I earn that commission, then that's going to go towards that savings as well. So if I get 10 commission checks, then it's about 6,000, almost $7,000. But that's the goal this year, is to pay that off. And I have a lot of trips right now, like between like March 1st and August. I would say even September, I have 7 or 8 like trips I'm going on, some for personal, some for work. But I think after that kind of ends, like all of these big expenses, I'll be able to put more and more of my monthly income into student loans. But right now, I'm really working on not going deeper into debt with like credit cards, using too much of my savings. Like that's what the savings is for these trips. And I do put the stuff on my credit card and then I use the savings to pay it off because I get the miles. And I'm almost at 100,000 miles on my Alaska card. You guys know I preach the Alaska card. I love it so much. I am not an affiliate. I think if you like send me your email, I can put it in there and we both get like 10,000 miles or something, but don't even worry about that. That's kind of weird. And I need like a lot of personal information. And I just don't think that that's really what I want from you guys. Like, don't send me your personal stuff. I can't remember where that train of thought was. But yeah, if you have any other questions, please leave them in the chat box. I will keep chatting for a few more minutes. I realize I have not really eaten lunch today, so I'm going to go make myself some lunch. I have some Trader Joe's like gyozas, the little pot stickers, in my freezer, and I forgot that I had them, and I just remembered, and I'm so excited to eat them for lunch. I just put them in a little like pan with some avocado oil, heat them up, have some little like sweet and sour sauce, and a good sweet chili sauce, also from Trader Joe's, the best stuff ever. And then I will continue on with my day today. I guess I want to add go on a walk or go to the gym, one of the two. But getting outside kind of sounds nice, some fresh air in my blood. Okay, but I think I'm going to end the live. I appreciate you all watching this. Oh, I've learned to make bread and it saved me money. I was on the bread making at home kick for a little bit. I just don't eat that much bread. And I hate to say it, but the bread from the grocery store with preservatives is actually a better bang for my budget versus making it and it goes bad too quickly. But yeah, if you have like a big family or like you eat a lot of bread, I think that's such a game changer. I thought about getting a bread maker, but then it's like, why do I need a bread maker? I don't even eat that much bread. So it's like every once in a while I have like a sandwich thing, but I don't do a lot of sandwiches, honestly. But okay, I appreciate you all watching this. Thank you for watching the replay as well. If you're in the replay crew, like I said, please give this video a thumbs up. It really does help out my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please, please, please hit that subscribe button. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers, and I would just love, love, love to get there within the next month or two. So I appreciate you all watching as usual. Have a great rest of your day wherever you are watching this, and I will see you in my next video real soon. Bye, guys.